Hi guys, today I'm doing iready reading comprehension, comparing and contrasting characters. Please subscribe and like.
Old Friends, an excerpt from Some Places More Than Others.
Okay, so is this on? Yes it is. Now turn that off, turn that on, boom.
By Renee
I
Watson.
need to go to here and then just turn it up. Yeah, that should work.
Amara and her dad visit her grandfather in Harlem, a neighborhood in New York City. Dad and Grandpa Earl haven't spoken to each other in 12 years, but Amara doesn't know why. In this excerpt, the three of them go to a local coffee shop where Dad and Grandpa Earl run into someone they both know. Grandpa walks over to the bar at the counter to a seat that looks like it's been saved just for him. He hangs his coat on a nearby coat rack. Dad and I do the same. When Grandpa sits down at the bar, a steaming hot mug of coffee is already waiting for him. "Thank you," he says, "and a hot chocolate for her." Grandpa Earl turns his attention to me and asks, "What do you want to do while you're here? Do you have a list?" I smile at Dad. "Oh yeah, I have a list." I tell Grandpa Earl everything on my list, and halfway through, a tall man approaches Dad. There is shock and joy in the man's face all at once. He hugs Dad, tight.
Okay, now we have to do a question.
What do the underlined details show about Grandpa Earl?
He visits this coffee shop often. This is gonna be a piece of shit.
Complete the chart to explain how Dad's and Grandpa's actions show they have similar feelings.
Dad does not accept Grandpa's offer to play. Dad remains standing still when Grandpa and Amara sit. Dad refuses his offer. Dad and Grandpa both feel uncomfortable around each other.
Charles Baker in the flesh. Man, why didn't you tell me you were in town? Quick visit. Just here for a week, Dad says. Mostly for work. The man turns to Grandpa Earl. "Coach Baker, how you doing?" He holds his hand out like he is going to shake Grandpa Earl's hand, then pulls him in for a hug. When they let go of each other, the man says, "I'm still hoping you'll change your mind about joining us next season as assistant coach for my community league for teens. We could really use your expertise." Grandpa Earl shakes his head. "Now I done told you I'm too old for that now. I retired many moons ago and I'm enjoying every minute." Grandpa Earl puts his hat on. "Plus, I coached you, so you should know how to coach them." He pats the man on his shoulder. The man nods. I hear you. A man can dream, though." Dad puts his arm around me and says, "Sorry to be rude. This is Amara, my daughter. Amara, this is Arnold Fuller. You can call him Mr. Arnold. We went to high school together." I smile.
Fill in the blanks to explain how Dad and Mr. Arnold act differently.
Dad seems awkward around Grandpa while Mr. Arnold acts friendly around everyone. Mr. Arnold gives Dad a hug and talks about sports with Grandpa.
Mr. Arnold says to Dad, "Man, I haven't talked to you in forever. You still writing poems?" "Still?" Before Dad can answer, Mr. Arnold says, "Your dad sure had a way with words. He was like our school's in-house Shakespeare. I swore he was going to become my dad?" Mr. Arnold laughs. Dad lets out a long sigh, like he is tired of this conversation even though it just started. "Yes, your dad. I was busy leading our basketball team to the city championship, and your dad was crushing on the poetry slam team." I look at Dad, who looks like he's been caught doing something he shouldn't have. Grandpa Earl says, "We're having family dinner at my place tonight, Arnold. You're welcome to come." Dad says, "Yeah, come through and bring your wife. It's been too long." "I will. I definitely will." He takes another look at Dad. "Man, Charles Baker. Can't believe this." Mr. Arnold gives us each another hug and walks to the barista to order. Once Dad, Grandpa Earl, and I are finished with our drinks, we leave the coffee shop. There are so many questions swirling in my mind.
What does Amara learn about her father when she meets Mr. Arnold?
Dad used to write poetry when he was in high school.
How do Amara and Dad react after Mr. Arnold reveals that Dad used to write poetry? Fill in the blanks with the correct answers.
At first, Amara is surprised when she finds out her dad was a poet. Dad looks embarrassed when Mr. Arnold talks about him. Meanwhile, Amara wants to know more. I can finish this one in 5 minutes, definitely.
Suitcase of Memories. An excerpt from Some Places More Than Others.
Switch this off, switch that on.
By Renee Watson. Read carefully.
Dad sets the bags down and walks over to the coffee table. I think he's going to go upstairs, but instead he sits on the sofa next to me. I think maybe this is a good way to get Dad and Grandpa talking. Maybe I'll have something good to tell Mom when she calls to check in tonight. I clear my throat. Grandpa Earl was just telling me how much you loved writing poems when you were in high school. I sure was, Amara. I couldn't believe how your dad could just make up a poem right out of thin air, not even writing it down. Grandpa Earl doesn't look at Dad when he says this. Dad says, "But your grandfather wanted me to play ball. Never mind how clumsy I actually was. It was all about the game for him."
What does Amara hope will happen when Dad sits on the sofa?
She hopes Dad and Grandpa will talk to each other.
Fill in the blanks to compare how Grandpa and Dad see the past.
Grandpa says he was creative, but Dad felt frustrated.
Grandpa says, "Amara, I have a lot of regrets. A lot of regrets." Dad gets up, takes the bags, and goes upstairs. Grandpa Earl watches Dad walk away. He takes a deep breath, looks at me. I don't know if I should continue or stop here, but then he says, "What's your next question?" So I push the record and play buttons on the tape recorder.
Okay.
What does Grandpa regret?
The way he treated his son.
I asked Grandpa Earl one of the questions from Mr. Rosen's handout. "What does your suitcase carry?" "Is this suitcase a symbol for my heart, my memories?" Grandpa Earl asks. I hadn't thought about it this way until he said it, Yes, I answer. What does your heart carry with you? What memories do you hold? You know, when I was a young boy, my mother took us to the candy store once a week, and we'd get caramels and peppermint candies. I would hold on to mine and sit under the porch, savoring it till the candy disappeared from my tongue, Grandpa Earl tells me. I haven't thought about that in a long while. A long while.
Okay, next.
What is one thing Grandpa's suitcase of memories carries?
His memory of buying candies with his mother.
He starts up again with another memory. And, well, I carry the memory of holding my son and daughter for the first time. And, of course, I will never let go of your Grandma Grace. She shows up from time to time in my dreams, or when I hear a song we both loved. I feel her with me too sometimes, I confess. Even though she had never been to Oregon or to my house, I feel her sometimes when I'm in the kitchen with Dad and he's teaching me one of her recipes, or when I'm alone in my room reading a book.
Fill in the blanks to explain another memory Grandpa shares with Amara.
Grandpa describes how it felt to teach us to hold his children. He shares the memory because he wants Amara to know that he still feels connected to his son.
Read what Grandpa and Amara each say about Grandma Grace. Then complete the chart to tell what this shows about both Grandpa and Amara.
They both heard many No, wrong one. It was about grandma though. Bye guys, that's all for today. Please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.